Hi there, thanks for stopping by, and these videos are best seen if in an order. So let's begin. Where I last left you all, when I got my bus back, I made the decision to finish my home as I was homeless. Getting the bus back in the state, I had no idea what to do or where to start, so the first thing I decided was to close the bus as best as I could. After putting in the windows and kind of securing the door, I had to seal the windows as best as I could. I parked my bus at a different shop that was helping me navigate out of all of this, which was great until I couldn't park there anymore due to space. So I had to move my bus. I was so desperate that I went to a guy I used to date.
So I drove the bus with the door like this. It wasn't funny when I was driving though, because this thing was gonna fly off. That's the seat, and that's exactly how I drove the bus.
With social media, many people that do this sort of work don't tell you is you need a clean workspace, a lot of prepping. So a lot of time I am taking things out of the bus and putting things back in. Converting a bus alone, it's not really talked about how most of the time you are spending chatting and trying to figure out what to do, and in my case, trying to figure out what the company had planned to do without being able to communicate. So most of this was winging it and hoping for the best. It was also my first time using tools where a lot of learning was happening. A tip for those that have never worked with tools: invest in tools for your dominant hand. I am a lefty, and a work with right-handed tools is very tough. My friend would show up on her time off, morning till evening, spend time chatting and then figuring out how to do it. When doing this, you have to remember to turn on your bus. Let it run for a while. This was my first time I changed a commercial size battery, ensuring the bus had a good charge. Figuring out how to put pieces of my bus together. Not sure why this wasn't intact. Joanna and I again trying to figure out how to close the gap between the body of the bus and the ramp. Here I am, not knowing what I'm doing, framing a wall. Throughout this time, I'm explaining all of this to my childhood friend in Connecticut, who was giving me some guidance with how to proceed with the build. I have always had a place to go after, however, it was way too remote to get people out there. So this childhood friend suggested I get my bus to Connecticut, so she and 3 other people were offering help. They were pretty adamant to get out there, so they can help me get on the road. I couldn't drive the bus in the state it was in for a long distance, so I had to get it towed. I get to Connecticut in February of 2021. When getting to Connecticut, the weather is so different compared to Colorado. By that I mean very wet. I had many leaks I had to address, which was preventative work, but a lot of work. I had to take out all the framing as I did not do a good job. Something people don't mention with DIY is how many times you have to redo things. Here is the childhood friend's boyfriend and brother installing the framing the correct way. Here I am, organizing and cleaning yet again. This is the day I had the neighbor from across the street show up and tell me how it's a dream of his to convert a school bus, and this would be practice. He used to travel with his dad in the school bus in the 70s and wanted to do this for him. They showed up the day after and started all the electrical work. I bought all the material while these complete strangers helped me with installing. He also brought his son, who wanted to help with the project too. They also brought an HVAC guy to install my AC heater. I also had a plumber show up to help out on the project. While I am preparing to insulate the bus, things got bad at the childhood friend's home. Her boyfriend was actively using drugs while she was in denial he was an addict. Everyone around them was normalizing many things I didn't. Yes, I chose an IKEA cabinet since I was on a time crunch. At this point, I started getting my bus adjusted to move in, which was a construction site. Luckily, it was summer, so I was able to shower at beaches, lakes, and stay cool at night. Before closing up the walls, it's important to run all the electrical, all the plumbing, and insulate as much as possible. In my case, I was running out of money, so you can see the thickness of the insulation. It was bare minimum. I also built during 2020 and 2021, so many things were back order or not available. My childhood friend's mom showed up time and again. Something I learned while registering my bus: depending on the state you register your bus in, you might have to change the color. I still wanted my bus to be a lighter matte yellow, so in the meantime I primed my bus. The prep work took hours and days of sanding, Bondo, patchwork, and cleaning. Due to everyone in my childhood friend circle normalizing addiction and excusing bad behavior, I had to get out of the property. I had nowhere else to go, so I ended up at my nephew's granddad's place to finish. Here I am with a proper seat this time, to a place where I know I could feel safe. Luckily, the place I could park was a backyard until I could figure out the next step. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe for Chapter 4.